Hi. What if I told you there were three companies that I own that have the potential within the next 5 years of curing most diseases that we have and are dealing with on a worldwide basis? What if I told you that there are 800,000 people in the United States who die every year from heart disease? 600,000, that's 1,660 a day, from cancer. To give you some relevance, there are, as I said, heart disease 800,000, cancer 600,000, 269,000 have died thus far this year of coronavirus. So you can see heart disease and cancer are substantially more devastating to our population than coronavirus. Yet coronavirus is, of course, what's getting all the press. But what if I told you there was a company, three companies, that are on the verge of basically wiping out heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, respiratory diseases, and yet their market cap combined is $61.5 billion. What's that relative to? Well, Google doesn't cure cancer, and their market cap's $1.2 trillion. How about Apple? They don't cure cancer, but their market cap is $2 trillion. Amazon's $1.6 trillion. So how important is curing disease relative to selling books, selling advertising, selling cell phones, mobile phones? How important is it? It really isn't very important to you until it touches you. It touched me. Touched me when my mother died of cancer, when my father died of cancer, when my daughter died of cancer. 4 months ago, when I was told, it looks like you have prostate cancer. Yesterday, I found out I don't. But it's important to me. It has been important to me, very important to me, since December of 2014 when my daughter died of cancer. And I put it upon myself to help find a cure for cancer. And that's why when you join this channel, right below on your laptop or your desktop, not on your phone, you'll see a little box that says join. And what that does is contributes $3.99 to this channel, which goes to supporting my charitable foundation, Warriors Team Shea, in name of my daughter. But what I want to talk to you about today is for you to recognize the potential in these three stocks, if in fact they have the potential to cure heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, respiratory diseases, the things that kill well over 50% of the people that die around the world and in the United States. If I could tell you that the technology we are at the threshold of this technology that will change how we live, it will probably double our lifespan. What would those companies be worth? How much of your hard-earned money would you want to invest in them? Now, what you've got to recognize, what I just told you, most people don't know. Most people know about electric vehicles. They know about Tesla. They know about NIO. They know about Li. They know about the revolution that is happening in electric vehicles, but they don't have a clue about how we're going to cure the diseases that kill us. And so, much as Jim Rogers said in my interview with him about a month ago, is the way to really make money in the stock market is to recognize an undervalued asset And it's undervalued because people just haven't become aware of it and don't understand what the future value of that asset is going to be. But once they do, much as Tesla, when it was $4 a share, nobody was too excited about it. But now at $600 a share, they're pretty excited about, particularly the guys who bought it at $4 a share. What I'm telling you is there are 3 stocks that I have identified and that I have researched and I have been working on. And it became top of mind when I found out that I might have cancer, and I dug deeper. And I want to share with you them today as to what their potential is. As I said, their combined market cap is $61.5 billion. If I equate that and say, well, they have the potential of being worth more than Google, which is 1.2 trillion. That would mean if you got as excited about these 3 stocks as you do about Google, Apple, and Amazon, their value would jump, or their value per share, which is currently collectively $481. The 3 stocks, their collective value per share. If you got as excited about them as you do Google, Apple, and Amazon, that price would jump from $481 to $9,139. That's a 19x. And what I'm telling you is if you will get that excited about doubling your life expectancy, and everybody else does, that you're going to get a 19x growth in these 3 stocks, probably over the next 5 years, because they've got the technology. It's all involved around genome sequencing. Let me give you some relevance. Genome sequencing in 2000, if you wanted your genome sequenced, it would cost you $1 billion. If you want your genome sequenced today, it'll cost you about $100. You heard me right. 1 billion down to 100. What does that mean? Genome sequencing. We all have a map within our body, and it is a twisted ladder, and there are multiple points at which the genomes come in contact with each other. Adam and Eve, if you will, had a perfect genome. They would have lived forever if they hadn't eaten that apple. But through breeding, through exposure to the environment, the things we put into our body, over the lifespan of man, our genome got out of sequence. So these 2 companies have developed the ability to sequence or view the map of your genome. And then they have also developed the technology that allows them to identify the out of order of your genome and then identify what that out of order results in. Thus, in my family, our genome has a propensity to get cancer. My grandfather, my mother, my father, my daughter died of cancer. 2 of my brothers have had cancer. I thought I had cancer. So my genome, I know, and I've had my genome run by 23andMe, I know that I have a propensity for cancer. What I don't know is what to do about it, other than diet, exercise, and quality bourbon. So my point is, we have the technology now, and it has become affordable. It will be probably within the next 12 months, it will be covered by your insurance because your insurance company wants to help you avoid getting heart disease, cancer, and upper respiratory disease or stroke, as far as that goes. So these companies, if you go along with me, are going to save a lot of people a lot of money and a lot of people a lot of heartache and a lot of grief. And if you follow that channel, saving a lot of money, saving a lot of heartache, saving a lot of grief, they gain value. Now, the third company is involved in genome engineering. And that is, once you recognize that the genome is out of whack, they are developing the ability to push it back in. And thus, through one step operation, they get your genome back in place and remove that propensity for cancer, for heart disease, for upper respiratory, whatever, Alzheimer's. Surprise to me, while 1,662 people die per day of cancer, only 334 die of Alzheimer's. As I'm getting older, I guess I'm just becoming more and more aware of it. So those three companies, I believe, will have a combined share value today of $481. Within 5 years, they will be $9,139. So who are these three marvelous companies? I've talked to you about them in the past, at least two of them. Illumina. Illumina, ticker ILMN, is the largest provider of genome sequencing equipment in the world. They basically own 90% of this business. They have a beautiful business plan. They'll sell you the genome sequencing machine for, I believe it's $335,000. So you're going to see one in virtually every hospital and clinic, and maybe multiple of them. And then they charge every time you use it for something in the neighborhood of $300 to $400. So a beautiful business plan. I own them. I own quite a bit of them. The second one, Illumina does what they call a short read. In other words, let's assume your genome is this long. They can target that area of genome that is potentially the houser of the cancer genome. And so they can target and do what is called a short read. They break the genome up, they put an attachment on either end, and they put it in a circle. They do a short read. Very accurate. 90% accuracy, inexpensive, $100 a shot. So if it's, as I understand it, if it's cancer, we do this section with a short read. If it's Alzheimer's, we do this section. If it's heart disease, we do this section. You get my drift. There's another company called Pacific Biotech, and they do a long read. Pacific Biosciences California, ticker PACB. They do a long read. They read the whole genome. Much more expensive, not nearly as accurate. They have about 10% of the market. Now, Illumina, back last year in 2019, tried to acquire Pacific and weren't successful. The courts said no, that would be a monopoly. So, to my way of thinking, if I was the CEO of Illumina and I had the short read and Pacific, the difference is Pacific does the long read, I'd be developing a machine that does a long read as well. But I've covered both bases. I own both Illumina and Pacific Biosciences California. So what we've got now is within 2 of my 3 companies, we have the ability to look at the genome and say, this is what's wrong, and this is what needs to be changed. What they can't do is change it. That brings in my 3rd company, and that's Crispr, ticker symbol CRSP. They have a market cap of about 9.2 billion. Stock price of 129. What they're into genome engineering. So in other words, you take your Pacific or your Illumina genome read and you take it to CRISPR, and CRISPR says, okay, we'll do this, we'll administer this to you, and we'll put your genome back in place. That's CRISPR. Between those 3 companies, I think if I were 26 years old, I could live to 150. I equate it to the technology that has taken my automobile life expectancy when I was 16 years old when I bought that 56 Ford. It had a life expectancy of 50,000 miles. My BMW now, easy, 150, potentially 200,000 miles, because of the technology that has come in to make my car last longer, so that I know what to do with it and when to do it to make it last longer. Now, the other thing that's going to enter into this is once we know your propensity for a disease, we can basically tell you how to change your lifestyle, how to avoid fatty foods, how to avoid sugar, how to avoid cigarette smoke, and give you the odds of, hey, that's your choice. If you drink those Cokes, if you smoke those cigarettes, you are going to die at such and such an age based upon the history of your your ancestry, as well as what we know about your genome. So these are in my portfolio because I don't know if they will change the way I live, but they'll change the way that most of you live. And I look at it and say, how important is it relative to other things that are important to me? How important is my life expectancy, my lifespan, the quality of my later life? How important is it to me relative to a smartphone, relative to Facebook interaction, social media, relative to advertising that is going to reach me? So again, I'm trying to equate what is the value of these stocks relative to Google, Apple, and Amazon. I don't think there's a question. I don't think that there's a question that if I want to change my financial life over the next 5-10 years, I have to own Illumina, Pacific, Biosciences California, and CRISPR. And then what I've got to do is put my ear to the ground and my face in my computer and figure out who else is going to come into this space, who has a value that is really attractive. Pacific, $18 a share. CRISPR, $129. Illumina, $334 a share. Combined value cost, $481 a share. But who are the $3 stocks? Because that's what Pacific was just a matter of months ago. It went from $3.30 to $18 in a matter of months because people figured it out. And they figured it out because Illumina tried to buy them. And the court cases showed up, or the hearings, and it was rejected because it would be a monopoly. They were going to own this entirely by themselves. So that's my value added to you today. This is what I find exciting. Looking into the future. I have a window. It's a big window. It's got a curtain in front of it. And I push that curtain back, and I look and I say, based on what I'm seeing happening today, what is going to happen tomorrow? And when I see that 800,000 people are going to die this year in the United States from heart disease, 600,000 from cancer, and probably this number will cap out somewhere around 350,000 from coronavirus, and then it'll be gone. But the 800,000 in heart disease and 600,000 in cancer here in the United States is going to continue. That's important. That's knowledge that you need to know, and you need to ask yourself, how important is this to the world I live in? Is it more important than a smartphone? Is it more important than Google search? I think it is. So you need to buy these stocks. I don't care what they're selling for today. You need to buy them. And you need to put them in a drawer and leave them there, because they're going to make you rich. They're going to make you stinking rich, because you got ahead of the herd. The herd's already figured out electric vehicles. They don't know a damn thing about this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play the Neo game and the Workhorse game and the Workhorse and Kodak. I'm going to tell you about stocks that are going to change your life, and they're going to change your grandchildren's life if you hang on to them. That's Best of Us Investors. We're a tribe. We're a tribe of people who are looking for things like this. And we gather at our Discord. That's our village. And if you want to gain entrance into our village, you need to go to Best of Us Investors. Send me your email address, and I'll send you an invitation to enter our Discord to become a member of our tribe. When you get there, you're going to find out that we share a lot of information like this. We search the fields. We search the internet for the guys who are doing some research and coming up with some ideas, and then we share it with you. And then we ask you to share your ideas and your research and your knowledge with us. So collectively, we're right now about 6,500. Our goal is to get somewhere around 100,000 people with a common interest to get ahead in this world, to achieve the 3 goals that I set out. 1, to make good financial decisions. 2, to learn to keep more of what you make by understanding the tax code. And number 3, to make a difference in the lives of our descendants by passing on family wealth. Our goal, each one of us, our goal is $24 million, because that's what the government will allow us to pass on to our heirs. And I think I just gave you your ticket to $24 million.